This is
The Handbag Husband.
the handbag husband. Yay!
Da Firenze.
Firenze. So today we are here in Florence bright and early with folks, taking their wedding photos and all the touristi and the dog walkers and the street cleaners to talk about the Birkin bag. And in fact, we're going to do another video in our series of Hermès 101 videos talking about why the Birkin might be a bag that someone would want to consider. Maybe for their first bag, maybe for their second bag, maybe for their 10th bag. Check out our bag collection videos. Got those going out every month. But we're going to talk about kind of why the Birkin is what it is and how it fits into our collection, our perspective on it, and who might actually really benefit from a Birkin bag and why you want to choose it. Now, before we get to that though, if you like these videos, if you like the Hermès conversation, if you like the Hermès milieu, and if you like Birkins, don't forget to like and subscribe because it does really help our channel grow. And of course, we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. But also because it means you will get notified when all of our Hermès content, when the full Hermès milieu comes out. All right, let's talk about Birkin bag. So, the Birkin. If you watched our last Hermès video, our 101, we talked about the Kelly and kind of our deep admiration for the Kelly. And I think the Birkin is, for us, obviously second. It's a more recent bag. It lacks, I guess in some ways it lacks that long classical history with Hermès, but also in some ways it does still relate to it. And in fact, it didn't really even come into being, at least known as the Birkin, and since 1984, a momentous year for everybody, one actress, and I think she was a model too, Jane Birkin, who's known for carrying around, she was known for carrying around things in a basket, essentially, because it was more easy for her to get things in and out, diapers, scripts, etc., etc. And things like a Kelly bag or perhaps a Constance bag or whatever other bags are out there just didn't really lend themselves to that. And so she was on a flight with the head of Hermès, something Dumas, maybe. I think that's the last name. And at least the story goes, and it may be apocryphal, but things fell out of her basket, and the leader of Hermès is like, hey, I can help you find a bag that fixes this. And she wanted a bag that had pockets, and he's like, Hermès doesn't have any bags with pockets. And then they put it together. Now, realistically, I think it's apocryphal because, well, the Birkin did sort of exist before that as Uta Korea.
It basically
hack.
had cut.
Yes.
They cut the hack and then voila.
Yeah. So the hack had been around since the late 19th or the early 19th century or late 19th century, 1890s or whatever, used for equestrian wear. So for their boots and for your saddles to go inside of it. But it's big. And if you've seen our last video here in Firenze, our unboxing, you'll see that the hack is a beautiful bag. And folks like the handbag husband love them when they get them because I got one and I love them. But it is quite large. And although it would fit kind of those goals that Jane Birkin had obviously been trying to solve with her picnic basket or whatever basket it was she was carrying, that size would be very difficult for someone who is an actress and a model and just doesn't have the size to be carrying such a big bag. And so essentially what they did is they, like you said, they cut down the hack into just like they cut it down so it's a smaller version of it, but maintaining the buckle and the three kind of flaps that go on top of it. And overall, it did serve that purpose, and Jane Birkin became very famous with that bag. And in fact, that bag just recently sold, I think, for
2 million, maybe?
I thought it was 10 million.
Oh, was it?
Was it 2 million?
I don't
We'll have to
remember.
put it up here,
Maybe
but it
10.
just recently, the
Maybe it was
original, the one,
Yeah.
the originator, the protogenitor of all the Birkin bags, just recently sold for, well, let's just say a lot of money. Unlike some of the other bags, I think one of the things I find very charming about the Birkin overall is that it feels very casual. At least considerably more casual than
It is very casual.
the other Hermès options that are in the quota bag league, without pointing any fingers at any princesses from Monaco. And I think that has a benefit to it because it is actually a bag that you specifically, we both have. I have a hack and you have a 35?
35.
You tend to use your Birkin much more than your Kelly.
Because
Mm-hmm.
my clipboard fits
Okay,
in my
yes,
35 and not Like my Kelly
Yeah.
28 won't fit my clipboard.
Yeah. But even when we're not
I travel
traveling.
with clipboards.
Yeah.
Don't. Yes.
So in many ways, I think the genius of the Birkin, as well as the genius of the Jane Birkin, is that it does fulfill that need. It is infinitely more
For sure.
practical getting in, getting out. It doesn't need to be as close.
I barely
Getting in and out is
close.
much easier.
I barely
Yeah.
close my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it represents a casuality to it that can be kind of dressed up and dressed down. You can charm it, you can non-charm it. Where I think on the Kelly, sometimes the charms sort of almost conflict with the bag
The
structure.
smooth. It's
Yeah.
smoother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kelly looks a little bit smoother without the charm. I guess that's what I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think some of the downsides to the Birkin, as far as trying to get the Birkin as your first bag or your second bag or whatever bag, is that the options for it are considerably more limited. But for gentlemen, they seem to be more appropriate. Right? You have a lot more bigger versions available that are just produced overall in the Birkin sizes, a 40, a 50, a hack. Then you have
40, 50, 55, 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen some giant ones in the window at FSH,
Yeah.
right? Even the Kelly, was it a Kelly this time? Or was it a Birkin, the giant one that we saw there? I think it was a Kelly this time.
That was Birkin.
Hmm.
The fuzzy yellow, the pink one.
The giant one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have a lot more options for gentlemen in the Birkin sizes that are big enough to kind of accommodate all the daily needs that well, at least one handbag husband has. I think on the downside, there's a lot less smaller options for it. There's no Birkin micros, is there? There's no Birkin minis.
I think 20.
Yeah.
I want to say 20 is the smallest, and it's very tiny. You
Yes,
can
it's very
barely
wee.
like put your arm through the holes,
Uh-huh.
which is, I guess, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a small person, so that's too small.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me
I guess what is it? I guess the question would be, what kind of experience is different trying to get the Birkin than trying to get the Kelly in the stores?
So the first Kelly was easy. We walk
Yes.
in, call back, and then done. No pre-span. So
Uh-huh.
that was very easy.
Yeah.
35 I waited a year. I waited a bit longer because I got offered the Birkin 40 first, and I
Yes.
say no to the 40 because I want 35. 40 would be a little bit
Yeah.
too big for me. So that's why I was saying that Birkin was not that difficult for my 35. But again, I think it's because it's 35. Back then, I feel like everyone's trying to get like a really, really small bag.
Yes, back when the
Obviously-
minis were all the rage, or the
ob-
very small bags were all the
And
rage.
obviously, right now, I feel like it's kind of like go both way. Some people say, "Oh, I already have small bag. Let's
Yeah.
go for the big bag." So maybe it might get a little bit harder, but I still feel like 35 still not that popular.
I think one of the other difficulties and sort of downsides, I guess we'll call it downsides for the Birkin, at least in getting in the boutique, is that there actually is far less options in design versions than there are for like the Kelly, for example.
For sure.
I
agree.
you don't really have, I mean, sure, you have a Birkin, you have the Birkin shoulder, right? You have the Birkin shadows, you have the Birkin Désordre, which are all pretty cool, but it's just the number of things that are Birkinized
You know what?
is much smaller than the
We
Kellyized.
barely seen any Désordre Birkin like anymore. Like,
Sure, it was just like that one year where
Yeah.
they happened to be everywhere. I know we saw one in Sev, and I think we had seen somewhere else. I don't think it's actually that popular. I mean, obviously, I have a preference for the Kelly Désordre,
Sure.
but the Birkin Désordre is just another. And I think realistically, the Birkin doesn't lend itself well to lots of alterations to it.
Oh, they had the Birkin
Okay,
rock,
but that's just like a chain added to it and a pocket.
and the cargo one.
Okay, yeah, okay.
There we go,
Yeah,
there we go.
all right. Yeah, and it has like a little cup holder on the
Yeah,
side or
yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah. Which I hate.
Yeah, it's kind of it's off-putting. Do you think it's more difficult to get the Birkin overall though than the Kelly? More competitive, I should say.
Ugh. I don't know. I don't even know.
Hmm.
Because we are not in the competitive market. You think?
What do you mean? Oh, because the size that we
Yeah,
look
'cause
for?
the size and
Yeah.
the color. Like I'm not looking for like the rose sakura, whatever. Like super,
Yes,
like
yes,
go on gold.
Yes.
Like I'm not in that
Yeah.
market. You see what I'm saying? I feel like if you have a very specific specification, yes,
Yeah.
it's always gonna be difficult. So I don't know. I actually don't. This one, I need to really, really think about
Yeah.
it. I actually don't know.
Baby, you give me midnight
think the other side of it is that would you recommend the Birkin as a first quota bag? If someone's like, I want to go to Hermes and I want to get a quota bag, I'm not exactly sure which one. Do you think Birkin is the best route to go first?
Depends.
Depends on what?
Depends on what you're trying to get out of it, right? Like, are you in it for a long game? Or are you just like, you know what, I just don't want Kelly and one Birkin?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You know, I think that I agree with you, but I would say I would recommend the Birkin as the first bag in the quota bag that someone gets. The reason why is because it's infinitely more versatile when you actually use the bag. Right? It's infinitely more usable for what most people are going to use a bag for, whereas the Kelly does tend to be a little bit more formal and a little bit more difficult to utilize as a whole. Whereas the Birkin, you can take it to school with you if you went to a school like that. You could take it, on a trip with you. You could take it grocery shopping with you. The Kelly, just it becomes more of an ornament than a useful object a lot of times.
Disagree on that one. When we're at home, I use Birkin way more.
Yes.
Or when we travel, like outside the country, I use Kelly way more.
Huh. Why is that?
And I don't know. That's what I'm like.
Oh, okay. Well, so you just disagree because that's what you...
No, probably because of the strap. Probably.
Yes. Yeah, that is the one downside.
Because of the strap. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can get like the Birkin cradle
harness,
with a harness. Yeah.
I want to buy it, but I don't think they sell it.
It's like Birkin S&M or whatever.
No, you see it.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So I mean that is possible, and you do see people who will just have a tote bag and they'll put their Birkin inside of it as well.
I also do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
which is perfectly usable that way, and solves that shoulder problem. Because obviously hanging it from your arm will get tiresome quickly.
Yeah.
Especially on the larger size, you have a lot in there. So, yeah, I think overall, I would say if you are someone who's looking for a quota bag and you're kind of bouncing back and forth, I would say for a lot of folks, for most people, Birkin is better.
But you know what? My advice would be, if this is your first bag, put in both. If you're okay with it.
Yes.
It's like Kelly Birkin.
Yeah.
You know, like you put in Kelly 25, 28, and then also Birkin 25, 30.
Yes.
Put both and then just let the SA spin the roulette for you.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so that is sort of our kind of brief analysis of the Birkin bag overall. Obviously, it came from very interesting kind of modern times vibe with the Jane Birkin. Obviously, it is more casual, and in my opinion, one humble handbag husband, I think the Birkin is a great place to start on your Hermes journey, and it might actually be a little bit easier to get the Birkin, especially in the larger sizes if you are a big bag people, than the Kellys. But if you like these videos, if you like the Hermes conversation, if you like the Birkin conversation, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because it does really help our channel, and we are so thankful for that.
Thank you.
Thank you super duper much. But also because it means you'll get notified when all of our newest Hermes videos come out. Now, for some reason, it seems to be getting colder despite the sun coming up more. We're gonna hit some breakfast. What is breakfast in Italian? Colazione. Get some coffee and try to get warmed back up before my fingers freeze off. So with that, ciao.
Ciao.